How often should I email my list? That question came in from Todd Newsom, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah, Todd, let me just jump out right here and say that you should email them every single day, perhaps multiple times a day. You know what? Email them as many times as your email service provider will allow you to email them, because it just shows that you care.
Well, part of your answer I do agree with. I,
Oh.
I was like all in the very beginning, and then I started falling back.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Okay. So typically when we're asking that, we're worried about being annoying or getting unsubscribes and all the things. And yes, we all want to be liked. We were created to be liked. I want everyone to love me. Like, who doesn't, right? So that's fine. But if you think about the brands that you love, that you absolutely adore, how often do you hear from them? Probably pretty often, right? Why do they email us so often? Because it works. Now, let's take brands aside and think about people you adore the most in real life, like your spouse or your kids or your closest friends. How often would you like to hear from them? I mean, Justin and I talk multiple times a day.
Yes.
Like we have multiple texts every single day, every day. That's not annoying. That's communication because I like hearing from him. So it's less about how often you're messaging and more about the quality of the message.
Mm-hmm.
We email every single day, and I have for years, and we still have a 40% plus open rate every single day. Well, how do we do that? We write to our list like we'd write to a best friend. It's conversational, it's valuable, there's storytelling, there's some snarky humor. We add little surprise and delights in there. We offer valuable gifts and tools and templates and resources. So there's value to the email. If we were just spammy McSpammerson spammy, it actually still would work to send emails every single day. It's amazing. If you test it, sending an email once a week versus once a day, your unsubscribes won't go up any more or less. That first email that you send, you're going to get some because there are people who just don't want to get email from you. And why they gave you their email in the first place, I don't know. Maybe they're a different person. It was a different time, But now there's someone who doesn't want to get your email. They're going to unsubscribe no matter how often you email them. So don't be scared of the unsubscribes. Be more inspired by the clicks and the profits it will give you. So what we track less is how many people open and more how many people click and actually take the action that we want. That's way more important. Now, if you're not emailing at all right now, don't go from 0 to every single day because that will be super weird. And the email service providers will not like it. And you're going to end up in that promo folder, the spam folder. People are going to subscribe. But if your favorite thing to get from other people it's not a bill, I would say, it's more of an invitation, right? I know if I open up the mail and there's a handwritten invitation, that's typically the first thing that I'm going to open because I'm not a jaded celebrity that's been invited to a lot of parties like Justin Guarini. He typically feels exhausted when he gets an invitation. Very different responses to invitations to parties. Very different responses.
Later, guys.
I mean, it's true. But and us regular folk, when we get a handwritten invitation, it's typically the first thing because it feels like a surprise and delay. Or the first thing that Justin might open is a gift that comes in the mail, something beautifully wrapped. It seems like, present. So if you're starting your email, the best thing for you to do is literally start it by giving a gift. I would do a 3-day series, and each day is giving them something valuable, a tool, a template, a resource, something you could charge for normally, but you're giving it away for free. So when people are opening up their email, they're like, ooh, when I open up their email, I get good things. They're not only going to click through, which tells Google and Yahoo that they should put your emails in the primary folder, but it gets them looking forward to the emails that you send, which is going to increase engagement.
Yeah. And a really important point that you just made, Kim, was the idea of value. Like it's got to be valuable in stuff that if you just send them schlock, like no one is going to care. They're going to just go past your email or, they'll open them in the beginning and maybe they won't unsubscribe, but they're just, but when you give them something valuable every single time, okay, Justin, that's cool. What do you mean by value? Well, we like to think of value as the solution to someone else's problem. So if you can, in every single email, and I love the emails that we send because they're really story based. Right? We really tell a story about a client or a story of something that happened to us or one of us during the day and during one of our trips. And we leverage that story to provide a solution, AKA value. Every single email has value. And look, value can really also be, you giving someone a link to a training or something that you have. Oh, Kim just froze. Look at that. That's real interesting. She really froze. Okay, I'm going to go back to me. Hey, so he said, well, Kim's internet gets back into the land of the living. Oh, yeah, there she is. Good. Yeah, hi. Welcome back. Hello.
I mean, that's a partner. No one else could see me in that frozen face, but you.
Well, they could see you in that frozen face because I went back to it. It was special. Make sure you rewind that.
I knew it wasn't there.
Just go ahead and rewind that, friends. You'll see it. But like I was saying, if you can clearly uncover the value of what it is that you have, aka the solution that you provide to the problem that this person has written, they're going to read your emails every single time because they know that they're going to get something out of it. Because, like we've said in other videos, we're all thinking, what's in it for me? When we open an email, when we see a product or a service, or something, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? So when you can provide value every single time, and it doesn't have to be this long thing, it's just solution. What's a great solution or a great story that I can tell that allows me to then show how I was able to go from this point of pain to this point of pleasure, this point of not knowing to this point of having the experience and understanding how to move forward. And that's powerful.
You ask them a question. Do you want XYZ thing? Yeah. Thankfully, it's easier than you think. And then you give them a tip or strategy they can follow. That's a great email. And if you want to get a little more creative, you ask them the question, you tease a solution, you tell a story about it, then you give the tip or strategy. That is a basic email writing formula that will get your emails to increase, the clicks to multiply, and revenue to roll on in.
You can do the outro.
Oh, you want me to do the outro?
Well, you do the question. Usually when I say the question, I do the outro. You see the question, you do the outro. I'm just
together we can point under the desk and you guys, this is behind the scenes happening.
Yeah, I get the sharp elbows. Like, and thank you very much for that question.
If you have a question about why we're doing no, just kidding. If you have a question you want us to if you have a question that you want us to answer, shoot us a message or leave a comment with your question. We'd be so excited to throw it into the queue. Not only might we answer your question live on air, but we'll mention you, your name, and the name of your business. So make sure to include that as well. And we'll see you next time.
If there is a next time.